Hello everyone, welcome to this tutorial. Today I'll be showing you how to use my plugin called Math Functions. This plugin is designed to help you create, modify, and visualize the graph of any mathematical function directly in Unity. Not only that, it also allows you to convert these mathematical functions into animation curves, which can be incredibly useful for driving animations or other dynamic effects in your game. Let's create our first function using the Math Functions plugin. In this plugin, functions are represented as scriptable objects. This makes it easy to create and reuse them across different parts of your project. To create your first function, simply right-click on the folder where you want to store it, then go to Create in Math Functions and select the type of function you need. For example, you can start with a basic sine function or any other function available. Once created, the function will appear as a new asset in your folder, ready for you to edit and use. You can click on it to see its settings in the inspector window. In the inspector, you'll find several options for configuring the function's behavior. To see a preview of the function's graph, simply click on the preview toggle. The graph will display your function visually, making it easier to understand how it behaves. You can move the graph around by dragging with your mouse and zoom in or out using the scroll wheel. This makes it really convenient to explore different parts of your function and adjust it to your needs. You can also adjust the scale of the graph axis separately using the sliders at the bottom of the inspector. This allows you to fine-tune the display of your function along each axis independently, giving you greater control over how you view it. If you want to change the width of the graph, simply expand the inspector window. The graph will automatically adjust to fill the available space. To change the height of the graph, you can use this slider. This flexibility makes it easier to examine specific details of your function, no matter its complexity. Now, let's take a closer look at the function settings. Click on the Settings button to see all available options for configuring your function. At the top, you'll find parameters like magnitude, frequency, time, and constant. These settings allow you to effectively shift and resize the function, giving you control over its amplitude, frequency, and other basic characteristics. Below these, you'll find the settings for loops. These options are useful if you want your function to repeat over a specific interval, making it easier to create cyclic patterns or animations. Further down, there are settings for posterization. These settings make the x values discrete, which can be very helpful if you expect integer inputs for your function. At the very bottom, there's a section for converting your function into an animation curve. The conversion happens automatically whenever you make changes to your function, allowing you to use the function directly in Unity's animation system. One important note, the conversion may not work well with vertical asymptotes and posterized functions, as these can create sudden changes that are hard to represent in an animation curve. Now, let's create our own custom function. To do this, right-click and select Create New Math Function. Give your function a name, and this will create a C# script template for the function. Inside the script, you'll see a method called function. You can modify the code within this method to define your custom function. This is where you can get creative and implement any mathematical expression you need. You can also add different fields to customize your function settings. Just below that, you'll see various flags that allow you to enable or disable specific features of the function. For example, if we don't need animation curve conversion or posterization in this function, we can turn those options off. Additionally, you can override info message to display custom information about your function in the inspector. This is useful if you want to provide specific guidance or notes on how the function works or what it does. Once you've defined your custom function, you'll need to create a scriptable object for it. To do this, right-click on a folder in your project, then select Create, Math Function, Created. Choose your custom function from the list. This will create a new asset representing your function, which you can now use and modify directly in Unity. That's all for today's tutorial on the Math Functions plugin. This tool can be incredibly useful for various game mechanics, such as shaping the economy by defining pricing curves or creating difficulty curves to adjust the challenge as players progress. Thank you for watching.